students, good morning. Today I'm going to speak on fear of English. Now, why are we frightened of English? This is my topic for the day. I am Dr. Merlyn Sharma. I'm Professor of English in the Department of Applied Science and Humanities in the IIMT University. Speaking on this topic makes me very happy because this is a day-to-day problem that I have been observing in past so many years of my life, that how students get frightened of English. Students, there is no need to get frightened of English or any language. Firstly, we must need to understand that English is not our mother tongue. We are not coming from backgrounds where English is spoken in our homes. In fact, we are coming from backgrounds where our mother tongue could be Bengali, our mother tongue could be Hindi, our mother tongue could be Gujarati, Kannada, or any other language that is spoken in different parts of our country. We are a very rich, culturally strong nation, and we need to protect our mother tongue. In fact, it's just an information, but I would like to tell you that many good languages are getting extinct. Meaning, there is a language called Maithili, there is a language called Bhojpuri, which is being spoken by very few people because the youngsters of today are, not very happy speaking their mother tongue. We have to be very proud of our mother tongue. But in the modern day times, in the modern world today, English is very important. Okay, I will speak about myself, how I picked up the language. I picked up the language through reading. Now, this I tell in my so many years of career to all students, reading is important. Reading is very important, students. Why? Basically, reading gives you lots and lots of words, new words. Okay. I remember my childhood when I was small. I must have been in, I think, sixth or fifth. I became fond of reading a newspaper in those days, which was called Blitz. And it was, its headlines used to be in red in color. We used to get it every Friday in our homes. Now, what happened when I started reading that paper? I enjoyed the juicy part of the language, the gossip. I did not read anything about sports, the politics, but yes, lot of movies, cartoons, small short stories, jokes, so many things. So what did I inculcate in myself? I inculcated the idea of learning a few words in English. I did not know it then what I was doing. Only thing I used to enjoy every Friday, I would jump and go and see, the newspaper has come or not. And I would be reading it, very fast so that I get all the jokes of the day, I get everything. And slowly and steadily, after a few years, I did not enjoy that paper. I switched to the normal paper. I started reading politics. Sports, I still don't read, but newspaper reading for your joy is very important. Okay. When you are picking up the newspaper in English, you need to read. That is it. Read anything that pleases you, entertainment or sports or politics, world, what is happening in the world. Read anything. And y'all are lucky children, this particular generation is very lucky. You know why? Because you have an app called Times of India. You have an app which is called Indian Express. You can read anything. Okay. So today we are going to basically talk about fear of English for students of vernacular background. Vernacular background means you don't speak English in your homes. We are coming from places where Punjabi is spoken, where any other language other than English is being spoken. Okay. Now, we are going to talk about how English has to be adopted as a native, as a language, as like we speak our native tongue. Now, what causes the fear of English? This is the most important aspect that you need to understand at this point of time. Why are you frightened of English? There are ways, that we need to understand that English causes us fear because we do not have adequate words. We do not know a choice of words, how to use them. Okay. And second important thing that we need to understand is that we are very frightened of our failures. Speaking wrong English in public is something that makes us very, very frightened. Why? Why should you get frightened of English? For that matter, you should never get frightened of English. Now, when you are speaking Hindi or when you're speaking your mother tongue, do you realize that you are speaking something wrong sometimes? You're using wrong choice of words, but you don't get frightened. Why we don't get frightened? It's our language. Okay, fine. We can speak wrong words. We can speak wrong dialect also sometimes. Some gestures, some kind of verbs, nouns, which are really not part of our native language, but we tend to speak wrong. So make sure that you do not get frightened of speaking English, even if it is wrong, because it is not our native tongue. Now we come to another part of our teaching, the reasons. The most important factor of any language is being misunderstood. We are very frightened of speaking wrong English, and the same wrong English that we have spoken has been misunderstood by the person concerned you are talking to. Second pointer that I want to make you understand, fear of making mistakes. See, students, all of us make mistakes of all kinds. Okay. So, fear of making mistakes should not force you to stop speaking. This is very important. It is all right. You cannot speak English correctly. It's all right. Speak wrong English. At least speak three words correctly, four words correctly. You will get to know the pronunciation, you will get to know the pauses, you will get to know so many things by making mistakes. You have to make mistakes. Okay, so these are the things that you ought to do in your entire life if you want to improvise on English. People coming from vernacular backgrounds. Let's talk about Sundar Pichai. Let's talk about APJ Abul Kalam. And there are so many personalities who have made it so big, so well, so good English they speak. But did they know English when they started their lives? No. Did I know English when I started my life? No. But gradually adopting new ways, adapting to new ideas, we started, getting to good English. Fear of rejection. This I have already explained in my previous slide that we are very frightened of getting rejected. Rejected by whom? Are there people in our country who are very fluent in English? Yes. But have they said you're speaking wrong English? I have spoken wrong English several times. But I have not been checked publicly, but yes, I have been told later that, ma'am, you made a mistake there. I accepted. I also understood I've made a mistake there. So, what I'm trying to basically teach you here is do not get frightened of English. Next, we come to our cultural differences. See, we are all culturally very different. People living in Punjab are eating differently. People living in Kerala are eating differently. People living in UP are eating differently. So is their dialect, their style of pronouncing certain words. It is all right as long as you are speaking. These cultural differences will crop up. Sometimes you will understand that if you go to certain parts of the world, certain words of English are spoken in a very different manner than what we speak because of the cultural difference. I will elaborate it further. You can see the picture that I have put it on my, on my presentation. I've shown you different kind of people. They all speak different ways, in different ways, English. Okay. And in the cultural differences, we communicate, we react, we perform, we interact, we socialize, we do a lot of teamwork. But it all stems out from one basic fact that we are talking. We are talking to each other. We are making people understand what we are doing through our language. And what is that language? It could be any language. Even sign language is understandable. So why not English? Now we will talk about cultural diversity. It is in continuation with what we were talking earlier. Cultural diversity means that all of us living in the society are coming with different cultural ideas. That is very understandable. In a class, when we teach, there are children who are coming from a background where Punjabi is spoken. Okay. There are people who are coming from background where Bengali is spoken. This is a meaning that the cultural diversity is different, which we have learned at home while we were growing up. What did we first learn? We all learned to speak our native language. The dialect that is taught to us from our mother becomes our mother tongue, which could be anything other than English. Okay. So English is a second language for us, and we have to treat it as a second language, an adopted language. And when we adopt something, we need to adjust. We need to learn. We need to relearn. We need to understand the pronunciation. We need to understand certain words. We need to understand punctuations. Same is the case with English. Okay, that is the diversity. While we were growing up, in the initial years, if you remember, we go with alphabets: A for apple, B for boy. All this we have learned. Anybody coming from any cultural background will learn alphabet as this only: A, B, C, D. Any part of the world, they are going to learn it in the same manner: A, B, C, D. We never start our alphabets from Z, X, Y, never. It is always A, B, C, D. Our value system, traditions, and beliefs are different from our neighbors, yet we embrace and include others' beliefs. Now, this is so very common when we are celebrating festivals. Okay, we celebrate it with the same fervor. We do not believe in the fact that I come from a Christian background, so I'm not going to celebrate Diwali. I celebrate Diwali. I celebrate Holi. I celebrate Christmas with the same enthusiasm. How? Why? Because our neighborhood, our people who are surrounding us, our friends, we all are living in a place which is full of diversity. So English is also something we need to understand is coming to us. We are adopting it. We are not learning it right from our childhood. In India, due to demographic diversity, there is a fusion of many cultures that we can see. We are all coming from very diverse backgrounds. Every region and state has its unique tradition and culture. Now, if we go back to any state of the world, just recently I was watching a marriage, a Manipur wedding. Some actor got married, Randeep Huda. He got married in a Manipur style. I have never seen a Manipur wedding, and I was very engrossed in seeing their rituals. Okay, it was on the YouTube. I was very engrossed in looking at the rituals of Manipur, and I felt at this age, I did not know Manipur had such good traditions, such good culture, such rich clothes, such fineries, such good food. So it's very rich. Our country is culturally very, very unique with so many diverse, cultures here. Yet we are happy. We are unique with each other. We are happy with each other. As a result, there are variations in music, dance, theater, and architecture, everything. And we all, adapt to those cultures. Let's say Punjabi Bhangra. If anywhere Punjabi Bhangra is getting played, we all enjoy the beats, right or not? We all enjoy it. Why? I hardly understand Punjabi. I hardly understand the beats, but the rhythm that it causes in my body makes me full of joy. Bengali music, okay. Just a few years back, I heard Usha Uttab singing at Victoria Memorial. Beautiful, Akla Chalo Re. I did not understand more than that, but the way she sang, the way it was being watched, it was mesmerizing. It was so beautiful. So we accept, we change, we adopt, we adapt to so many things around us. Why not English? Now we come to certain examples. We come here with certain examples that are trying to tell you the diversity of our country. Okay, diversity, you see the first picture, it has lot of people with different backgrounds. The second picture also talks about that. And coming to the third picture, it's a kind of a map of India where different kind of diverse groups are there. So what is the medium of communication? The medium or communication is not English, it could be any language, but you see we are able to communicate, we are able to pass our thoughts to another person. So English is also like that. We have to pass our thoughts in a language which is not ours. What is difficult in that? I don't see any difficulty in that. What difficulty that you feel is hesitation, fear of rejection. Students feel, oh, we do not know good English. You don't worry. It's not your local dialect. It is not your local language. You don't have to worry at all. But you have to keep on improvising. You have to improve a lot on a daily basis. Till now, I'm trying to improve. There was a time when, I never liked dictionary. Picking up a dictionary was not something appealed to me, but I had to pick up a dictionary to do a lot of work in my life. But now, when I look at the apps that are there on the phone, I really feel very happy that if I get stuck anywhere, I will just open an app, dictionary or synonyms, antonyms. I want to check anything where language is concerned. I do it. One thing which you people use very often is Grammarly. Something I don't like. Absolutely, I do not like is Grammarly, because you will not come to know the correct grammar. Okay, and when we are reading a language, when we are understanding a language, the grammatical errors are very important. Okay, you need to understand. So when we are small, okay, when we start moving up to first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, even after ninth, I think till ninth, eighth or ninth, grammar is very important. We are constantly brushing up our grammar, nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives. All these are very important to understand at a very vulnerable age. Problem is, it's another dialect, it's another language, and we start sort of rejecting it from the start. It's very difficult. Okay, it is difficult. Any language at initial stage is very difficult. But as and when you pick up, as and when you start doing it, you will enjoy it. Only thing is, you have to step forward. You have to come forward. You have to motivate yourself that no, come what may, I'm going to learn this language. It's not at all difficult, children. You need to understand nothing is difficult as long as you are determined to do it. And learning language is not at all difficult. There are small measures. I'm going to teach you in this particular lecture of mine how you can take very small measures and improvise on your language. We come to another topic, diversity in language. Diversity brings different dialect. This is my first line that I have written here. I have mentioned it also here. Diversity brings different dialect. What does this mean? It simply means that we are dealing with different languages in different parts of the world. Okay, be it any part of the world. Now I'm moving out of India. All right. Now, if we go to Spain, we will hear people speaking Spanish. If we go to France, we will hear people talking in French. And let me give you one beautiful anecdote, or my reading has taught me that people in France, even if they know English, they prefer to talk in French. You know why? They're very proud of their language. very proud of their language. So when you are traveling to France any time of your life, remember to learn a few words. Okay, thank you, sorry, me will meet again, thank you for the lift. Small words you need to understand and learn before you go. Let me come to another country called Sweden. Sweden is giving lot of opportunity to youngsters like you. Lots and lots and lots of opportunities. I have been reiterating in my class also that Sweden is ready with open arms to call professionals to work in their country. Their only problem, or their only, they put one block, that is, you should know their language. Swedish language is something which you should know, and you should know very well. Okay, they will support you in all manners, but they are not going to teach you in English. They will not entertain. They must be doing it. I do not know. I've just heard from people who have, gone to Sweden and they came back and told these stories. Plus, I've been reading a lot of things. So, if you plan to go to Sweden, lot of your, things will be taken care of by the government there, because they want professionals to come in their country, but they don't want to give away their culture. Language is part of our culture. Please understand, language is part of our culture, and we have to be very proud of it. Very proud of it. If I speak in Hindi, I feel very proud of it, that I speak very good Hindi, correct Hindi, without breaking any voice, without breaking any words. I can speak Hindi very correctly. With so many cultures and states, there's bound to be different languages spoken all over the country. Now, here we are talking about our country. Okay, in our country, there are so many states, close to 24, 26 states we have. Every language is different. Okay, every language is different. More or less, eating habits are very different. As we go down towards Bihar, towards Northeast, towards Kerala, their staple diet includes rice. They eat more of rice. If you move towards North, towards UP, Punjab, we are all wheat eaters. We are fond of wheat, chapatis, parathas. All this is part of our eating habits, and that comes from our diversity. So, language is also like that. Language actually is part of our culture. We can't leave it. We should not leave it also. But we have to adopt a language that is English for our betterment. Because, see, majority of books are in English. If you go out to work in the world, the means of communication is going to be English. So people who can speak English correctly, they do not fear. But people who are coming from backgrounds where, English is not their strong hand. I will not say they don't know English. Their English is not so strong. They feel very frightened. This particular lecture is to make you understand that you do not fear anything where English is concerned. All right. Thus, even the school going student gets immensely dependent on local language. Now, what happens is when you come out of your homes and you sit in a rickshaw, you sit in a van, you sit in a bus, you sit in any means of transport, we are speaking our local language. Have you got it? Throughout our bus journey to the school, throughout our rickshaw journey to the school, or even if we are going on a cycle with a few friends, we are talking in the local dialect. Are we talking in English? Just think, just contemplate. Where do we speak in English when we are traveling from our homes to the school? No, we are not speaking in English at all. We speak in our local dialect. That is the meaning here of getting immensely dependent on local language. Next that I am going to talk about is language is fundamental aspect of human identity. What do you understand by human identity? We all have an identity, students. All of us have an identity. My name is my identity. My strong, style of speaking is my identity. How the way I conduct myself is my identity. The way I dress up is my identity. Language is very important aspect of human identity. How we talk becomes very important. This one aspect changes our complete personality. Please understand, words, phrases, and expressions used in different languages are not just collections of sounds and symbols. They also contained the accumulated wisdom, values, beliefs, and experience of the people who use them. I'll explain this paragraph in a very simple manner. What we talk, how we talk, the kind of language that we use shows our complete personality. It shows our wisdom. It shows our values. It shows our beliefs. Okay. So talking nicely is very important for us. We've seen on roads several times, not once, several times, people fight on roads. Okay. Their expression goes from normal language to abnormal language. Why? They are fighting. Same kind of a fight if I have in my house, I'm not going to use any abnormal language. I do fight with my family, I'm fighting with a lot of people, but my language will remain polished, my language will remain polite. I will fight, I will put my views, I will tell them this is my cause, this is my reason of annoyance and anger, but I will not abuse. So this is the meaning. Sounds, symbols, we talk loudly, we talk softly. Certain times we use gestures. Certain times we use sounds. Shh, keep quiet, do not talk. These are sounds. Even shh will give the expression, please do not talk. I do not have to use these words. Shh will work for me. Quiet, it will work for me in a class. So these are sounds, symbols, expressions which we need not only in a class, in our homes, in our atmosphere, in our office, wherever we are surrounded with people. These are very important. Preserving and celebrating a language also helps to build an inclusive community in this world. People celebrate language. Do you know that? There is a university which celebrates Bhasha Utsav. What is Bhasha Utsav? Celebrating all languages, celebrating all cultures, bringing all diversities into one group for one day. Celebrate your diversity. That is the meaning. Thus, speaking English over a vernacular language becomes a difficult task. See why we find it very difficult. We find it very difficult because we enjoy our language. We enjoy our expression. We enjoy whatever we do in our cultures, in our language, in our eating habits, in our belief systems. That stems out from the fact that when we are enjoying something, we don't want to leave it. And speaking English, adopting English as a medium of expression for something becomes difficult for us. Okay, it's difficult. It's not impossible. What we can do is start from today. The impossible aspect has to become possible aspect. Please make sure of that. Okay, now we are going to talk about fear of rejection. This is the most important aspect of English. Most of the time, students of vernacular background fear rejection from their own groups. See, the world is here to make fun of you. Please understand that on several aspects, not one, two, three, four, several aspects. Speaking English is something we are made fun of by others who can speak better English, who understand better English, who pronounce the words correctly. Okay. And that rejection actually puts a fear in us. And when we are frightened, we do not go forward. All right. English language proficiency is a valuable asset in today's globalized world. What is a globalized world? We are talking about our interaction with other part of the world, people from the other part of the world. For example, there are so many international courses on the given by major universities of the world. Harvard, Princeton, Yale, all these universities are giving so many online courses, especially, during the pandemic time. In the pandemic time, there were several courses open to the world. Anybody could pick up any course, pay some amount. I also did lot of courses, paid and received a certificate from different universities of the world where I could not travel. How could I do these courses? Or several of you have done these courses. How could we do it? Our means of communication was the same, English. Means of communication was English, and English proficiency has become very important. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. The world is connected like anything now because of internet, because of, there's so many platforms. We are connected to other parts of the world. But how do we communicate with each other? We communicate with each other through language, through words, through our choice of words. We talk, we inform, we collect information, we give out our so many ideas, we receive so many ideas. So the fear of rejection, is very challenging. Challenging means we can overcome it and overcome it. What I'm trying to tell you here is any challenge can be overcome. We can take any challenges, but English is something which is, I don't even consider it as a challenge. This brain work of yours, which keeps on telling you, no, don't speak, you will be wrong, you will get rejected. See, I've shown you a picture also where a boy is speaking wrong English. Okay, the picture says, and so many hands have got up. Now that boy is not looking at those hands, he's only feeling the guilt in himself that, oh, I spoke the wrong English. This is what happens to all of us. There is nothing to feel bad if we speak wrong English, but there is a way of improving it, which is very important. So, the fear of rejection can be challenging, but it is not insurmountable. The fear of rejection while speaking English is a hurdle that many non-native speakers face, but what many don't understand that it can be overcome. Meaning is that English speaking can be reduced in a very good manner. Reduced means our spoken English can improve a lot. How? How can we improve our spoken English? This is going to be my next idea. There are several ways of overcoming the fear of spoken English by vernacular students. This particular slide is going to talk about people whose English is understandable. Okay, means you can understand, you can speak a little, but how do you improve? Identify your exact fears and focus on them alone. Sometimes what happens is, I've seen this in a lot of students. They say that, ma'am, we can understand the English correctly. So I told them, see an English movie and come back and tell me the story. They saw the movie, came back and told me the story in Hindi. Okay, now that's not correct, I told them. This is, no, we can't explain. Why you can't explain? Start with wrong English. It's all right. Still, they could not. Now, what do you understand here? You understand that what exactly is your problem. Your problem is your tongue. We cannot put the words into our mouth because we have to think of lot of words. So what are we doing? Our vocabulary is zero. When we talk, our vocabulary has to have words. All right. Second part is, be assured English is not your mother tongue. This thought does not ever get out of your mind. This thought has to be in your mind always, because mother tongue is something we all need to be very proud of. Okay, we all need to be very proud of the fact that I come from a Bengali speaking background. I come from a Bihari speaking background. I come from a Kashmiri home. You have to be very proud of it. But then where does English stand? English stands very erect, tall and erect. You have to step forward from your vernacular tongue towards English. When we move from our vernacular tongue towards English, we can take out all our fears, because we have to constantly tell ourselves English is not my mother tongue. I am adopting a language. I might not be very clear, but I will make myself clear. Okay. Third point that we can think on is choosing comfortable language partners. Now, see, choose a friend. It could be anyone. It could be your mother also. It could be anyone who has time to talk to you in English. Speak wrong English. It is all right. Certain words, certain vowels, certain pronunciation, they need to come out of your mouth. For example, Carl Jung is a name. I was explaining to this in the class, one of the classes. Carl Jung. So one of the boys said, ma'am, you are speaking wrong. It is Jung, Jung. Now that word is Jung, but it is pronounced as Yung. Okay. So Carl Jung, I had to make them understand the pronunciation, the linguistic aspect of how pronunciation is done sometimes. All right. And there are several rules which we don't need to go into because we've crossed 18 plus age. So we don't need to understand that. Choose comfortable language partners whose English might be better than you or might be worse than you. It is all right. Perfectly fine. You just need to talk. All right. Focus on one-to-one conversation. Have just one partner with whom you can talk in English. He will revert to you. You talk to him. He asks you a question. You revert. When he talks, you revert. Both of us have an angle where you are talking to each other on a platform. Make a bridge where you ask a question, he replies, he asks a question, and you reply. This is how we move forward. Okay. Use enough online material for benefits. Now, today is a time of technology. Today is the time where, there is so much of online material available in the market. Plenty of material. You just have to take out that material and read it on your own. Even the YouTube is very helpful. Before starting this conversation, this particular lecture, I went to see what all material is available on YouTube. Plenty of material is available on YouTube to improvise your English. You don't have to pick up everything. You have to pick up bare minimum basic things. You pick up so that your English gets enhanced. Okay. Don't think ma'am is speaking English correctly, so I don't require that. I also require. Why? Because I have to teach and I have to enhance my English also. So what I do, I generally read a lot of newspapers. I read magazines. I read novels. I also see English movies. I also see certain other things to understand. I also see which are the new words that have come up in the market. So all this is coming through the technological material. Okay. I am using a platform to get into it. Okay. So learning English, students, is not difficult. It is not even time consuming, but you have to give patience. You have to understand this is something we need to do out of 24 hours that we have in our lives. Just devote 30 minutes per day. I'm not asking you for more than that. Maybe 45, maybe 1 hour. Fix your time for a week. Go by the measures that have been given to you and see the change. The delightful change that is going to come in you is going to be unbelievable. All right. So the next slide is talking about bridging the difference. What is a bridge? See, this is a bridge. It is connecting both hands, it becomes a bridge. When I'm joining hands like this, I've made a kind of a bridge. So what is a bridge in a normal language? It connects two things. Okay. A normal bridge on a river connects left and right side. Okay. So that is the bridge that I'm going to talk about. You have to bridge the gap between English and between your own language. Make a bridge, okay? And then try to connect it. How do we do that? Bridging the difference between any language and English is purely dependent on the effort of the students. See, I've been reiterating, I've been telling you that constantly you need to make that effort. Now you see two pictures that I have brought to you. Two people are trying to put a stone and complete the bridge. What is that stone called? That stone is called effort. You have to bring the effort. I cannot teach you English even in a year's time. Why? Because effort has to come to you from you. You have to decide what you will do to improve your English. Okay, people coming from vernacular backgrounds have little or no knowledge of English. Basically, people coming from vernacular backgrounds know English very well in today's times. Okay, in today's times, maybe you understand everything, or you understand 50%, 40%, 30%, but you do know English. Okay, only thing is your fluency in English is not as good as it should be. And why your fluency is needed? Your fluency in English is needed to make you go up higher in life. Maybe you work in a company where everybody's speaking English. Maybe you go to work in America. Maybe you go to Saudi Arabia. Maybe you go anywhere. What is the means of communication? Your broken English? No. You have to improvise on your English right now. This does not mean at all that English is superior to any vernacular. I am going to tell you again and again, my language is the best, be it any state, okay, be it any ways. But your language is your best language. You are in love with your language. You should be in love with your language. It is the superior language that you have you have taken, from your mother, right from your childhood. Okay. For example, the word ma. Some call it mom, some call mummy, some call ma. Word is the same. Word is the same everywhere. Okay, mother is also called some places. Same thing we can say for papa, pa, pitaji, whatever you can use. But English is still not superior to my native tongue. English is going to be your means of growth. Okay, translations have proved to be very effective in this regard. Now, a lot of language translation is happening in this world. I saw somebody translating into Assamese. Okay. So I was asking that person, how are you translating? So translation studies have taken a lot of change now. Any text written by anyone, for example, let's say a book written by Chetan Bhagat, is in English. It will get translated into Hindi. So the people who are studying, who can understand Hindi, will read in Hindi. The same book can be translated into Malayalam, so that people who are in Malayali speaking background can see, read, understand what Chetan Bhagat is saying in an English novel, which can be understood by them. That is called translation studies. Okay. English spoken at the grassroots level plays a predominant role or in the communicative sphere. Now, when you will move out for a job, English is going to be a skill that you have to really, really, really work hard on. Why not start now? This is the most important time to start your English. And you see the visible changes, the kind of changes that come in you, and the bridge that you are trying to, establish will be established. You try it, give half an hour, give 40 minutes every day. Just start with normal reading. When you start with normal reading, be it anything, okay? You don't have to be specifically reading a newspaper. You can read a magazine, you can read anything that you feel like, but that will bridge the difference. Bridge the difference. If it happens slowly, steadily, a time will come, you will be very fluent in your own language. Okay, these are the measures that you have to take. Each one of you has to take in your life if you feel you want to improvise on your English. The complete lecture has been based on English. I am speaking English. Maybe some of you feel that I'm speaking good English. Some of you might feel I'm speaking average English. Some of you might even say the English is not very good. But I will need an improvisation again and again, again and again. Okay, till I die, because it is not my native language. English is not your mother tongue. The sphere of speaking English in any given environment is baseless. This I've been telling you from the very beginning of my lecture, that please don't get frightened of English. The dialect of a different local language common in our social circles often negatively influences our oral skill in spoken English. Oral skills are words that come out of your mouth. Oral skills are words that we speak fluently in our native language. Oral words in English, we get stuck because of the pronunciation, choice of words, lack of confidence, and a lot of other things that, can happen when we are speaking orally. Mother tongue is a language that a child gets to hear in English in his initial years after his birth. His fluency and understanding in that language is bound to be better than any other language. This makes it further difficult as we pick up certain accent and styles. Talking about accent and styles, many of you who are seeing this might have a dog, might have a pet. Okay, when you talk to that pet in English, he understands. When you talk to that pet in Hindi, he understands. When you talk to the pet in another native language, he understands how. Expressions and style and accent. The dog is very clear with the expression, maybe sometimes words, accent and English makes him amply clear what his master is demanding, what his master is commanding. Same way in English, if we start picking language, if we start picking choice of words, we will command the language. We will have no fear. English is primarily spoken language in several countries and territories. It's the mother tongue of several nations. I have been telling you, English is the mother tongue of several countries. So obviously they are going to speak better than us, right? Can anybody speak better Hindi than me? No, because Hindi is my native tongue. People who are coming from Kerala, born, brought up, educated in Kerala, can anybody beat them in Malayalam? No ways. Why? Because that is their native tongue. Same way, English is a native tongue for many countries. Okay, America, England, name so many countries, they speak English as their first language, as their mother tongue, as a means of communication. Obviously, they are going to be better than us. But in India, Hindi language is not mother tongue to several states. Now, in our country also, Hindi is not spoken in several areas where Tamil, Konkani, Kannada, Punjabi, etc. are spoken. Thus, it becomes very difficult for any student to adopt and adapt to English. Now, if you are speaking a native language which is other than Hindi, so your second language is Hindi or English. All right. So, generally, Hindi is mandatory. I am not sure of it now, but Hindi was compulsory for every student to study till 10th. But you can opt for other languages also as you grow up. Okay, in 11th, you can opt for any other language. English is compulsory. Now, I do not know still about the CBSE, ICSE, or the local or the state level syllabuses, but English was mandatory. And the idea was not a British concept. The idea was to make the children aware of this language when they go out of the world and they understand. Okay. Some time back, I was teaching, about 10 years back, I was teaching some Bihari students, very good, very intellectually advanced, everything they knew. And they would always tell me, ma'am, English is somewhere where we just fail. We fail very badly. And I had to get them ready for interview skills. So I told them newspaper reading has to be done in front of me by every student. Find 1 hour in the whole day. Maybe, you come to me for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, but you will come with a newspaper, speak in front of me. Okay. And they would laugh a lot because they would land up speaking all, words which were even I didn't understand. I had to take the newspaper from them and see what exactly the word was. So bad they were. Many of them cracked the interviews. Many of them worked very hard. Many of them said that we are going to continue with this practice. So they wanted to change. They wanted to understand that they can also learn the language. Why can't you? You can also do the same. Speaking counts in English language. This is something very, very important, that speaking in language other than your mother tongue always will need an extra effort. So when you're speaking English, don't treat it as a challenge. It is a challenge, of course, but it is achievable challenge, very easily achievable challenge. See, nobody's perfect in a second language. English is my second language also. But you start thinking positively, eradicate all your fears, and learning any second language becomes easy. Please do not forget that English is important because growth of your words, your choice of words will help you crack your interviews for several companies. You are basing your professional degree on lot of other things, and communication skills becomes very important aspect of our lives. Very important aspect. We cannot communicate, then we are doing we are failing our own selves, actually. So many measures, so many methods I've given you. Please adopt these methods, focus yourselves on them, and prepare yourself for a better world. You must prepare an action plan. This is something which all of us should do if you want to improvise on your English. An action plan is always required for anything. I always believe that you must have a plan of action so that you can, concretely finish that work. If you have a plan is going to be successful. If there is a planning, then why not for spoken English? Why can't you fix a time that 7 in the morning or 7 in the evening, 7 to 7:30 is my English time. That's it. That's it. It is very simple. And what are you supposed to do there? Create a positive environment. Positive environment means you're simply going to pick up your newspaper or any reading material, and you will tell yourself, I'm going to finish reading this. Maybe it takes me 10 minutes. It's a 5 minute article, but it might take 15 minutes, but I'm going to do it. Be supportive of each other. Supportive of each other. Two people can sit together. One may listen and one may speak. Same thing can be repeated. Vernacular speakers are not coming from another planet. This is something you need to understand. We are all human beings. We are from the same planet. There is a little difference that we need to catch up. So it's simple. Understand it's a process. Do not get embarrassed at all. Definitely, it will take time. Every process takes time. So why not speaking English? That fear of English has to go out of your mind and body, and your tongue has to produce good English, better English on a daily basis. Just like we speak in a normal conversation, so we too must speak English normally. It generally doesn't happen like this. Unlock your potential and gain back your confidence. Though English is not your first language, still you can be a confident speaker. Bring in your confidence. Okay, don't worry. You don't have to speak correct English, very appropriate English, but be confident of facing. One must plan a few hours every day to English. Whether you speak, write, or listen, it is not important. Spend time with English. Doing what pleases you in English is very important. You can watch a movie. You can even watch a lot of cartoons, Tom and Jerry, and all these kind of cartoons. Even if you don't understand English, you will hear English and you will see the action. You will automatically take out words from your mouth in the future. You have to bring improvement in your vocabulary. That comes at a very slow pace. I am still improving my vocabulary, still trying to hunt for new words. Improvement in vocabulary is very necessary for any student coming from a vernacular background. One has to dive deep and immerse yourself in English, expose yourself to English, making use of every resource. See, children, we are in a world which is so accessible. So much information is there on the internet, so many activities, so many performances. Do we even go and see them? Do we even want to see them? Then how do you expect improvement in yourself? When you have to find any improvement in anything, okay, you have to do it on a daily basis. The best example I can quote here is cooking of your mother. Okay, how she cooks such a good meal. She was not a trained cook when she married and came into the home. She learned, she practiced, and she's perfect. Strategize new words with confidence and precision. Vocabulary mastery is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. You have to understand the power of the words, and power of English words is very, very useful. I come to the end. I would like to conclude, here with a thank you first that you have heard me. Please understand that listening alone will not help you. Activity will help you. The activities that I have given you have to be started. You have to practice, you have to immerse yourself, you have to generate new ideas, cultivate new friends for your improvisation in English. I hope you have learned something, if not everything, and you are going to imbibe a lot of things, and happy learning from Dr. Merlyn Sharma. Thank you once again.